I now give the floor to the representative of International Center for Climate Change and Development.
Thank you, dear Chair, distinguished delegates, distinguished panelists, and my colleagues. My name is Shaila Shahid, and today I am representing International Center for Climate Change and Development from Bangladesh. And today I also speak on behalf of the Women's Major Group and as a member of GNDR, the Global Network for Civil Society Organizations on Disaster Risk Reduction. And I am coming from a very tiny farming community from Bangladesh named Krishokesh, or Farmers' Voice. Dear Chair, we appreciate that Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction supports an inclusive approach to disaster risk reduction. It recognizes the indispensable role of women in risk reduction efforts as well as women's rights, which includes their right to life, self-determination, shelter, health, security, access to services and resources, livelihood, and equality. Therefore, promoting and mobilizing women's leadership and gender equality in building resilience is critical to the sustainability and achievement of risk reduction priorities and sustainable development goals, particularly if we like to bring the coherence with the SDG goal on 13 at all levels. Gender equality here in this context of disaster risk reduction is thus not only an issue of rights, but also an issue of effectiveness and meaningful participation and leadership. Dear Chair, due to increase of frequency and intensity of climate-induced hazards, the loss of assets and livelihood are on the rise. As per the target B, we are emphasizing. And on the main reasons of steady progress is the progressive disaster risk reduction strategies, action plans, and implementation of the plans in partnership with all level of stakeholders as per the target E. These strategies and plans requires promoting shifting the power and localization through engaging the local actors, especially women, young girls, and young people in the disaster affected communities, their volunteerism and leadership in building community resilience. From lessons of disaster show that women have difficulties during evacuation due to cultural and social obstacles. At response and sheltering stage, we also found that there is a need for women in search and rescue or response and first aid teams aligned with safe water and sanitation. There are also inadequate focus, lack of institutional and individual capacity and tools to mainstream gender and DRR at policy and program level. Moreover, there is a lack of accountability tools in order to identify and monitor what is expected from the governments and others whose capacities and resources are not infinite. Therefore, we strongly urge the governments, the donors and policymakers for full endorsement and implementation of the gender policy adopted by UNISDR in 2011 for gender mainstreaming in DRR to provide guidance to stakeholders and to promote gender equality and empowerment of women internally and externally. The 20-point checklist on gender-sensitive DRR should be key criteria for implementation of any DRR program and projects at national and global level. Also, regular reporting and consultation on the UN system-wide action plan on gender equality and the empowerment of women following the UN SWAB. And also, we like to emphasize particularly the transboundary cooperation for effective multi-hazard early warning and disaster reduction. Today's interconnected world shares resources with each other in every aspect. So all regions and countries within shares natural resources such as forests and rivers where interventions in one area impacts the other, that needs a particular attention from all of us. So finally, we call on all who aim to put the noble aspirations of the UN into practice to acknowledge that humanity's future depends on the mobilization of the capacity latent in every human being. If applied to the challenges we face, this simple truth would bring about a profound shift in our collective action, the transformation that 2030 agenda emphasizes,
Please
combining
conclude.
with Sendai and Paris Agreement. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you.